everybody, it's me Edward Jones back with a new video. Today this video is it's a video response to some videos I've seen in the past. One notably done by Miami Prepper 1 entitled 90 Days, and there's also a follow-up after watching Demcat's video on how would he spend his 90 days. This is basically how I would follow up on something. Let's say there was some type of event that happened. One thing something I prep for, like I said before, I prep to keep myself from being like the people out there who don't take precautions, who doesn't have things put aside. It was something an event I anticipate would be something like a power outage, something where it could be by EMP or maybe a power station is shut down, whether in the city, region, state, or whatever. And I guess I'd just kind of go through what kind of things I would do. Let's say for the first 90 days. If I had to, I'd say the one thing, if I'm not at the house, I try to get to my house. I don't travel very far from where I live. So I don't see it being too difficult for me to get back to where I am. Normally, if I'm not at the house, I'm either at a grocery store, which is about 2 blocks away, or I'm at work, which can be between 4 to 12 blocks away from where I live. And so getting there shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'd say once I get to my house, I also have to take into account I have 2 other friends of mine that I live with. So I try to reach them to see if they're all right. If they can make it back to the house, that's good. If they're stuck somewhere, then I have to make a decision as to whether I see if it's all right for them to hunker down where they are until things blow over, or see if would I have to go out and get them. Would they do the same for me? I trust they would do the same for me, but I try to keep myself in a position where if I'm stuck somewhere, to see if there's any way I can get out of it myself. I guess if I'm back at my place, I guess 90 days is quite a long time if you're doing it without electricity, especially in today's modern world. So I guess what I would do is I can plan for maybe the first 2 weeks. Kind of make it. Give an idea what would I do for the first 2 weeks. I'd say I keep stock of I try to look at how much food that I have. Now right now I would say that I have for myself I have over 90 days worth of food. Maybe something edge around 4 or 5 months worth of food. And taking into account how much would I have to consume to make the food last. What would take the most effort to cook? I imagine, rice and beans. I do have that, and it may take me a while to get everything set up for that. With all the water that's needed for cooking rice and beans. But I'll look at and see what can I have dual purpose. Water that I use for one thing, can I recycle it to use something else? So let's say water I use to wash, wash off some vegetables, things like that. Can I use it again for cooking? Can I use it again for maybe even washing clothes or stuff like that? I take into account how much water I have. Over time, I've learned to stock up on water, to look at how much water I can drink. I'm able to drink in a day, especially when I'm exerting myself. Usually, when if I'm outside working or if I'm in the house doing something, I drink maybe a quart of water. Maybe 2, something like that, to keep myself hydrated, keep myself up and running. So those would be the immediate things I try to keep track of: food and water. That's in my room. As far as shelter, I would see if there's any way. I like to see if I can fortify things right now before anything happens. But if it winds up happening, if it winds up something hitting before I can make proper fortifications, I do have some building materials set aside for barricading doors or boarding up windows, locking things up. I have the material to do that, and I have the tools to execute it. So if it was such an event where I was worried about people breaking into our house. Um, I try to try to act on that premise. And I'll also see if I can, like I said, I live with two other friends of mine, so see if we, if we would eventually have to work together, but we shouldn't be trying to work together in the first place, since we live in the same place, and we would face the same risk of, exposure and hunger and thirst and things like that. Um, so I guess once I get my food and water, taken accounted for, and let's say that the house is all, let's say the house is pretty well is well secured. Because the thing is, I don't plan on bugging out. Personally, if I can stay at my house and hunker down, I'll do that. Even if it doesn't have to stretch out to 90 days, I'm prepared to do so. Um, one thing I look at is how much dirty clothes do I have. The reason why I say that is because if I'm going to be in my house for 90 days, I may have some limited movement, but I would still like to be able to, make sure that I can keep at least my socks and underwear clean. To cut back on any risk of disease and infection. Because if you have you have dirt in your soil, you have soiled skin, and let's say you sustain an injury, you don't want the dirt that's on your skin to get into the injury because it can result in an infection. So I'm trying to make sure that I have enough cleaning supplies for my clothes, and also for my body, make sure I can take care of my well-being. And as I said before, hopefully I also have to see if my friends can do the same thing. Next, I guess kind of going on my standard routine already as far as security goes. If I'm anytime I'm in the house, I have a gun close by, or I have one on me. If I'm in the house, or in my room especially, and make an assessment as to. I try to think about what kind of threat would I be arming myself against? Would it be individuals, groups? I see it more as being individuals, but then again, I predict looking at my neighborhood, we may be left alone for the most part. Not to say anyone would try to steal anything from outside the house, but I think as far as anyone trying to get into the house, I don't really see it happening. But just because I don't think it would happen doesn't mean it can't happen. So, we would have means of, setting up schedules as to, watching over things, checking things out of the windows if we can. Um, you know, uh, I guess 90 days is a very long time. I think the biggest thing to worry about would be the boredom, because there may be things going on outside, but maybe any action that you may think you're going to get into, most likely is going to be far and few in between. Like I said, but then again, depending on the severity of what's going on outside your house. So you wouldn't have. I would try to have things that would, I keep myself entertained. I would have a couple books to read. Have some manuals I can check out, plumbing manuals, survival manuals. I have a Bible. I will be reading that. We have some board games in the house. We try to play those during the day. Save our fuel save our candles and our lantern fuel for emergencies, as well as our batteries. And try to check things, check weapons, check clothing, check food. Working on a detailed inventory, things like that. Just, I guess, do things to keep our mind off of what's going on. Not forgetting what actually happened, but keep ourselves from worrying ourselves to death. We'll try to keep busy. Or at least I would try to keep busy. Something I do when I look at some YouTube videos, I would check my clothing. I'd men's socks. Sew up tears in my work pants. I also would do laundry from time to time in my room. Just get some hot water. Use the hand powered washing machine and wring on my clothes and rinse them and hang them up on a line. Just try to keep active. So like I said, the boredom doesn't drive me crazy. I think one of the side effects of boredom is that you wind up doing rash things, taking on unnecessary risks to make up for the boredom. So I think it's good to keep busy, which I believe I would be doing. I would keep myself busy with wherever I can inside the house to keep my mind from wandering. Let's see. As far as communication, I guess if if there's any chance of still receiving any type of internet signal, my laptop is still functioning for as long as it can without electricity. I would I try to see if I can gather as much information as I can. I have an Anchor radio. I can use that to try to receive any incoming messages over the airwaves if all possible. I don't have a ham radio as of yet. See, that's one thing I would be lacking in. But for the most part, I would try to keep myself well informed. If I had to step outside the house, try to figure out what things are like. If things have calmed down, I would go in plain clothes, as Miami Pepper said. Be the gray man. Be seen but not noticed. I wouldn't go out there. I probably wouldn't go out there in my battle belt if the situation didn't call for it. I would most likely have I'll have my 45 tucked in, tucked in my waistband, stuff like that. Just so I can make an assessment and gather as much information as I can, and head back to base camp. But yeah, for 90 days, I believe I'm covered. But I won't get ahead of myself. I always say that there's still things that can be improved. Still things that I can build up on. Especially since I now have the truck, I can build up my fuel storage and parts and any upgrades I want to do to pick up. I'll also try to find ways to keep anyone from stealing things out of it, like like the battery or out of any fuel, stuff like that. So yeah, 90 days. I think it'd be an interesting journey. I hope I'm prepared for it. If I'm not already, I'll keep at it. However way I can with what resources I have. And that's another thing. If you're worried about having to go for a long haul, you may have to be, and if you're working with limited funds, hopefully you're very resourceful in terms of making do with what you have, stretching things out. Say if you have a rip in your clothing, can you patch it up with something else rather than potentially ripping it any further and tossing it aside and leaving yourself exposed to the elements. If you have any parts for machinery that breaks, do you have any spare parts, or can you fabricate new parts? Things like that. And so 90 days can be a long time. If you're not prepared, it can put you on the edge. I believe if you are prepared, then it just be an inconvenience, be an inconvenient time for you. But yeah, that's my that's my opinion on hunkering down for 90 days with what I have. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. Any PMs, I welcome those. Any positive feedback, cool. Any negative feedback, that's still cool. Just has to be civil towards those who are actually viewing this video in the comment section. Also, as I'm doing an update on the bacon video I just did, here it is. I just pulled this out of the pressure canner about 2 hours ago. It's still fairly warm, but you can see right there. You see the bacon, and it's visible through the parchment paper, and you see where there's a separation of water and there's the fat from the pork. But it was safe to be safe in storage. Also dated it right there. It's still fairly warm. I did 3 pounds. Something I'm working on is that, like I said in the video, if a power outage was to occur, I want to make sure that I can have some food in storage that would not be destroyed by lack of refrigeration. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Edward Jones. 90 days. It's more than just a Project Pat song. And hope you have a nice day.